Hello, my name is Tammy, and I am a sugar addict. One who is trying desperately to undo the damage that sugar has done to me my whole life. Believe me, I love me some sugar. I realize something when I'm talking to a lot of people in person, especially if they're a little bit older. I'm not saying all, but my mother was a perfect example. Some people do not understand how much sugar or sodium is added to a product. My mother suffered from congestive heart failure, which had nothing to do with the sugar, but this is just an example of my point that's coming up. I remember when the nutritionist came in and told my mother she needed to change her diet and she couldn't add salt and she had to watch her salt intake. And my mother simply said to her, "I do not use a salt shaker." And she could not make my mother understand. I said, "Ma, you do realize," she said, "all I have soups, I have this, I have that, a lot of prepared foods." She would cook herself things from time to time, but when they get older, I think that just becomes easier for them. And my mom was in her 80s. So she did not get the concept that that can of soup you're opening up has an exorbitant amount of sodium in it. But even when I would try to talk to her and try to explain a label, she would say to me, "I don't add salt to my food." So at that point, it was just she was going to live out the rest of her life and there wasn't much I could do. So I love salt, but salt is easy for me to control. And because Lou and I do not eat a lot of packaged foods, which you will probably say, "Are you nuts?" after I show you everything today. But mostly every meal we eat is from scratch. But I am a sugar addict. And I do believe, now this is a little more serious, I do believe that my sugar addiction, because my brothers, both of them, my older sister, my mother did not, but my older sister, we all have a sugar addiction, all of us. And I remember researching sugar addiction, and being the child of an alcoholic, a lot of the children usually will have a carbohydrate or sugar issue. So I don't know if there's any truth to that, but I am a child of an alcoholic, and I absolutely love sweets. If I could maintain a healthy body, I would eat nothing but sweets. I wouldn't even need food because that's how much I love sugar. So it is an addiction for me, and it's one that I have to learn to do away with. And they say it takes 21 days to form a habit. It takes 90 days for it to become a lifestyle. So set yourself up for the 21 days and let it become a habit. And then once you succeed with that, we will move on to the 90 days. And if there's anybody who wants to do it with me, let's do this, my friends. So what I thought I would do, because some people's sugar addiction starts with pop, soda, or a cold drink, as some states call it, I thought I would show you how I gave up diet pop. Now, diet pop is no better for you than regular pop. It's a little bit better, but the artificial sweeteners they use in pop, they just trick your body anyway, and you still crave sweets. It's all part of their plan to get you to keep buying their junk. So, and I was guilty of it. I'm not kidding you. 12 cans a day was nothing for me. I did the caffeine-free, as I mentioned, but I had to stop that, and I probably stopped that at least 15 years ago. I haven't had more than one can of pop when we travel. That is it. So, and every now and then I might have a swig, but for right now I don't even like the flavor of it. So okay. I thought I would first share with you how I weaned off of sugary drinks or Diet Pepsi. I take a big thermos like this, and I have sparkling Pellegrino. You can use Perrier, whatever sparkling water you like, but this is the one that I use. I take the whole bottle and pour it in here, and it comes to about here. And then I take these two drinks, which have the sweetener in these is erythritol, which does not spike insulin. So it is okay. This one doesn't trick me, although if you can do away with any artificial sweeteners, that's even better for you. But I cannot. I love these. So what I do is I pour a little of this one in there, and this is the dragon fruit flavor. And I'll pour a little bit of the mango, or I'll just do one of this and not any of this. It all depends what my mood is. Today I blended them, and I have this. And that serves for me, as it serves my fizz addiction, which I also have. This really does me, it holds me over. It's really made it easy for me. Now, I could get carried away with this and have a ton of these throughout the day, but I don't. I only have the one. That's it. I have one, and then the rest is all plain water. That is all I drink, or I will just drink a sparkling, because I could get in the habit of just drinking tons and tons of this. And I just don't want to do that. I want to make sure that I stay in control of everything, okay? So that is how I weaned myself off. I also, in the very beginning, I used pomegranate juice, just a splash, just to give you a little flavor, blueberry juice. I didn't buy any of the juices on the inner aisles of the grocery store. I made them 100% pure juice, and I would just put a splash in. That's up to you how you roll with that, okay? So that will become your best friend if you're trying to give up pop. And some people like seltzer water, some like tonic water. It all depends on if you like the bitterness of those. I prefer a sparkling water. And when you're talking about sparkling water, you don't even have to go that route. They make so many good sparkling waters now. Now, some of them have, they're all natural. I don't care. Some of you suggested Spindrift. I did not care for them at all. And there was one other one that was suggested to me, and I didn't care for it. Now, these do have natural flavors, which can be anything, but they don't have sugar in them. Now, this one here is the first time I tried this, and I really loved it. This is the Target brand, the Good and Gather. And this is the pomegranate dragon fruit, very good. The Bubbly brand is very, very good. It has lots of good flavors. I like the cherry bubbly, I like the blackberry, and I like the strawberry. All very, very good. They will help you through, and these I will drink a couple a day of. They're just sparkling water. But they will help you with your fizz addiction, and you won't be drinking the pop. So you won't be getting all those artificial ingredients and all the crap they put in pop. I mean, it's true. You could take rust off a car with Coke. I mean, there's some potent stuff in there. All right. Okay, so now say you're somebody that really loves your granola and you like to have granola in milk. Start to educate yourself on how much sugar is in your granola. Read your labels. This one has 9 grams of carbohydrates in it, 2 grams of fiber, and 5 grams of sugar. So it actually has 4 grams of sugar. That's how it's going to affect you if you're doing keto or low carb. Lou does low carb. And he's actually kind of dirty keto, because Lou needs to have his little treats, and they're all keto treats. But let's get back to if you like granola. Go with a low sugar granola. They do make keto granolas. They're a little astronomical in price. This I got from Costco. It's a really big bag, but pay attention to your serving sizes. This is a 1/3 cup. For me, granola is not something I put in a bowl and eat. I mix it in with things, or I just have 100% Greek yogurt, no sugar added, because the lactose, the milk, has its own sugar that it puts into the product, but there's no added sugar. Start with no added sugar if you really are a sugar addict. That's how I do it. That's how I did it for Lou in the beginning. Just no added sugar. He continued to eat his fruit, and then because he needed to keep his blood sugar down, he was pre-diabetic. He needed to really work on it because he didn't want to go on medication. Then we cut out even fruit. He'll have, every now and then he has an apple. He'll have like blueberries in a shake or something, but always measured, always measured. All right, so now if you are that person that really loves your granola, again, go for a granola that has the lowest amount of added sugars in it. This brand here, Purely Elizabeth, is really good, and the flavor's good. Now, if you're someone who has always used, like you're using coconut milks or almond milk, but you get the sweetened ones, you got to cut that out, my friends. You have to go for the unsweetened. So what I try to do is get the unsweetened vanilla in anything, and if I can't find it, I'll add a splash of vanilla to it. But unsweetened vanilla should get you through. It should make the difference for you. And there is a little sugar on this, so it's coconut sugar, I believe. But there is a little bit of sweetness to this, so you don't need to double up with your sweetener, okay? Here we have a fix if you're somebody who really loves your granola. And if you're someone who loves cereal, do the same thing with it. You have to read the ingredients, okay? So now, Lou likes French toast. But he hasn't been able to have French toast because bread is too high in carb for him, and he really has to keep it under control. And he also loves syrup. So Lakanto is a new brand. It's not real new, but it's new to a lot of people. So it's a little bit more on the expensive side, but your health is worth it. And you need to use very little of it. Now this syrup here is a little watery, so it does take getting some used to. But the flavor of it is okay, and the sweetener that it's used is monk fruit, so it is not going to spike his insulin. Bread was an issue because Lou loves toast. He really, if you have eggs, it has to have toast for him. And he has learned how to go without. But I was in Costco one day and I found this bread. They have two brands they sell there, and Lou prefers this one, and actually I do too. I've just been buying loaves of it. Well, I had to order online because they have bagels, they have hot dog rolls, they have hamburger rolls. Costco only has the buttery bread. So I ordered the bagels. They are delicious, my friends. Lou said I don't even know the difference. These are the everything bagels. They have 7 carbs. I think the plain had maybe 5 carbs to it. So if you're someone that's not really low carb, but you're trying to cut out your sugar, the sugar level is way down in these. There's 19 grams of fiber, 28 carbs, and then the sugar alcohols. You have to subtract your fiber from your carbohydrates. If you don't really understand how that all works, just look up online how to tell how many carbs are in something. And it has to do with subtracting the fiber and the sugar alcohols, and that will leave you with what you're dealing with carbs. But these are excellent. I got the plain and I got the everything. I'm going to order more. But they are excellent. And they have bread that is really, really good. Now this, I just take the eggs, I take vanilla, I take lots of cinnamon, and I will soak it in, and I make Lou his French toast. I saute it in the butter, real butter, grass-fed butter. And then I just put a tablespoon of this syrup over it. And he really said to me, Tam, I don't even miss it the other way. It's that good, really good. And he has had grilled cheese with it. He has had his sandwiches with it, and just really, really good. Now the bread has 2 net carbs. The other brand is called Keto Land or something. He didn't like that because it falls apart when you eat it. So he didn't like that. Okay, so now stevia. A lot of people do not like the taste of stevia. But I do like the French vanilla. If you're someone who likes to make a smoothie, get your unsweetened coconut, almond, cashew, macadamia milk, whatever. Get that. It will have no sugar added. You can add a couple of drops of stevia. You need to use very little of this because it's so much sweeter than sugar. It does have a funny aftertaste. It will be trial and error to find the brand that you really like. I like the 365 brand, and this is the French vanilla. It just adds a beautiful flavor. You can throw a little bit of blueberries. Try to stick with berries. They have more fiber in them and less sugar, and they're packed full of nutrients for you. So try to stay away from the tropical mangoes, the papayas, if you're trying to cut down on your sugar. Now, if you're a vegetarian and you want to eat your fruit, you go right ahead. This is for people that are trying to cut down on sugar. You don't have to give up your fruit. You just have to stick with berries. Now, if you're someone who loves a little chocolate, something, and everything I'm telling you here is because this is what I've done to start weaning myself off of added sugar. Right now, I'm having no added sugar, and then eventually I will do away with some of these artificial products. These are pre-packaged artificial, but if your inflammation all goes away and you lower all your levels and you're no longer pre-diabetic and you're just feeling so much better and they're not affecting you, stay with them. But you also know that I love chocolate. Absolutely love chocolate. I found these at Costco. And they're just single serve. and they are called Choc XO Choc Keto Snaps. They are dark chocolate, coconut, and almond with a little bit of sea salt. No better treat for me than chocolate and sea salt. I absolutely love it. And Louis doesn't, so he doesn't eat these on me. Because if he loved them, I'd go in there one day and they'd be gone. But this is really, really nice. Now, I prefer to put these in the refrigerator. I don't like my chocolate real soft. I prefer to put it in the refrigerator. I actually think it, I don't know, to me they taste better. But they do quench my need for dark chocolate. Another one that's on the market that's a little more expensive is it's from Hue. And they make a lot of different products, but these here are really, really good. And they're just a chocolate bar, and I just take one little square a day, not the bar. I just take a square. And I have to have a conversation with myself. I held a little meeting when I put these in the refrigerator. I said, you have one square a day. You owe it to yourself. I am the type of person, I keep my promises to other people when I make them. I'm committed in every way, shape, and form when I move forward to something, except to myself. I will sabotage myself in a heartbeat. So this time I held a meeting. No. Now, if you're someone that likes to have chocolate milk, if you continue to drink cow's milk, you have to know that that's going to spike your insulin because milk has its own sugar content. So keep that in mind. If you say, well, why can't I have skim milk? Well, you can if you want, but you're adding sugar. So just keep that in mind. The Lakanto brand makes a chocolate syrup. I make Lou a keto style smoothie when he wants a smoothie instead of his breakfast bowl. And I will just use coconut milk, almond milk. I don't use cashew for him because cashews have a little more sugar in them. But I will use, you know, the almond unsweetened vanilla, and then I'll put a little bit of this. I'll put an avocado in there. I might put some heavy cream in there for him, and then some ice cubes, and just blend it all up. And he says it's fabulous, absolutely fabulous. And you can even, if you're someone who likes Greek yogurt, but you want a little bit of chocolate, just sprinkle a little bit of this. Again, a little on the liquidy side, but the flavor is really good. And because the flavor is so much sweeter than sugar, you actually need to use much less. So it says 2 tablespoons is of serving. I mean, you really don't even need the 2 tablespoons. These things are all going to help you. Now, another thing you need to watch are your condiments. They add sugar to almost everything, except for mustard. Mustard doesn't have any sugar, but mayonnaise brands, they add sugar. Ketchup adds sugar. Some barbecue sauce all add sugar. So I really had to find a mayonnaise that I thought was good because I love Hellmann's. I love the buttery flavor of Hellmann's. And down here in Florida, they have a Duke's brand, which is not too bad. And they do have a Duke's brand that has sugar-free. Not too bad, but not a Hellmann's to me. I know the people in the South are so used to Duke's that they think the other. But for me, I was raised, you know, well, not raised, I was raised on Miracle Whip, which I absolutely hate. And anyway, getting back to mayonnaise. At Costco, they sell this one, which is the Chosen Foods Classic Mayo. One, I like this because it does not have canola oil in it. We consume too much canola oil. You don't need all those omega-6. So try to get away from the canola oil. It's not the good oil that they thought for us. So you want to avocado oils, extra virgin olive oil, pure oils. You don't want vegetable oil and those things. Those are not healthy oils. Some people are going to always fry in them. That's fine. With keto, I think you can use tallow and lard. That's fine. But your mayonnaise does not have to have canola in it. So anyway, this is a really good mayo. I tried a couple of other brands and I just did not like them. This one is, I can get by with this one. Again, I still prefer the Hellmann's. Cinnamon is a great way to add sweetness to something. If I'm having Greek yogurt, and then I just throw some raspberries on it, maybe a couple blackberries and a little bit of blueberries. I sprinkle a little bit of cinnamon, and it really does make it sweeter for me. If I really need a little bit something, that's when I'll take maybe a tablespoon of granola and I just sprinkle and crush it over, and then I'll add some walnuts to it. Now, the nuts don't add any extra sugar. They add fiber, a little bit of protein, and nutrients to your dish. So keep that in mind. Again, vanilla, just add a little bit of vanilla. You can actually drizzle a little right over your yogurt, and then a little bit of cinnamon with your nuts or your berries, and it will sweeten it up for you. So those are just some ideas for you to help you cut out the added sugar and the bad chemicals or ingredients that come in pop and soda. You don't want to start just replacing other artificial sweeteners and just overloading on those. So what I will do is I will give myself the 21 days, and then I will eliminate some of these and work on that 90-day, you know, that's what I'm looking at in the distance, 90 days, so it becomes a lifestyle. I have so many things that we are very healthy eaters, and it's a lifestyle for us. We don't really have a diet, but I really want to give up sugar for the inflammation. The more I read, the more I realize that my inflammation is probably due to sugar. So I need to cut it out. I don't think I could successfully do keto because I don't eat meat. Although keto is more fat, healthy fat-based and veggies than it is like Atkins used to be. Eat as much meat as you want, eat as much of this as you want, and this. Keto really does try to focus, if you're doing clean keto, it's a healthy lifestyle. It's not just gorging on meat, gorging on healthy fats, and then having a couple of vegetables. It really is, it has a strong focus on healthy fats, minimal focus on meats, and then your veggies. That's pretty much what Lou is doing. Although, like I said, he does more of a dirty keto because he does like to have a low-carb cookie with his coffee in the afternoon, and he also likes to have a keto ice cream bar after dinner. He does no snacking in between meals. He eats 3 meals a day, and that is it. He doesn't practice intermittent fasting like me, although I am struggling with intermittent fasting now. I wake up famished in the morning, and I don't really know why, unless I don't know, maybe I'm building so much muscle that I just need to feed my body more. But that's another thing. I think we skimp on calories. There is some truth. I do believe the calories matter. But I think when you're eating a whole foods diet, I think it's easier to control your calories versus when you eat lots of sugar. Because those are just, that's mindless eating, and it's wasted calories as far as I'm concerned. That's why I don't have a problem. I don't drink a lot of sweet drinks outside of my smoothie in the morning, which I'm giving up. This morning for breakfast, I had a half a bagel, I had 2 eggs, and I had butter on the half a bagel. I'm not afraid of butter. I'm afraid of margarine, but I'm not afraid of butter. All right, and right now I ate, let's see, I ate at 7, it's now 1:30, and I'm just now getting hungry. So it is true that healthy, oh, and I had half an avocado smashed under the eggs. So there is truth that healthy fats will keep you fuller longer. I find that I'm fuller longer with healthy fats over fiber, although fiber is very, very important for your body as well. All right, my friends, let's start the conversation going down in the comments. How did you get away from sugar? What is your vice? What is your vice that you would like to give up? I think that we can find ways, we can help each other in the comments section on how to be successful. Remember, 21 days for a habit, 90 days, and it's a lifestyle, my friends. If you haven't already subscribed, I would love to have you as an ageless beauty, so hit that subscribe button and the bell that notifies you of all the videos that I'm putting up. Until the next time, my friends, go out in the world a little less sweeter, but lovable. All right, my friends, I love you guys. Bisous.